tough result at the end, but you give it a real dig.
Yeah, we did. Probably the story of the tour that, you know, we've had a good dig. But the reality is we've come up a cut against the best in the world, and yeah, we'll sit here 3-0 losing, which is really disappointing. But we are, you know, it's almost a bit not patronising, but you know, we need to be better than just having a dig. And look, there's a lot for us to learn. There's a World Cup next year, and a lot of the boys who've been in this Ashes series, I'm sure, will be in that World Cup squad next year, and they know now what it needs to be the best. And I'm sure the squad will be better for these last few games.
There was a spell there or just before half time, in the 20 minutes afterwards, where you sort of perhaps dominant there, but you perhaps needed to score points.
Yeah, we did. I think, you know, unfortunately, that's probably been the difference between the two teams. And when they've got a roll on and create opportunities, they've iced. And you know, when we've been in the ascendancy and got them on the back foot, we've not quite took enough chances. So, yeah. But listen, so all credit goes to Australia. You know, they're the best. They all play in the best competition in the world. You know, their infrastructure and financing and the whole game down there is obviously a lot bigger and better and wider than ours. And we'll just keep chipping away. That's all we can do.
You mentioned some lads in the World Cup next year. Would you include yourself in that? Is that something to aspire for? Have you just got over this one?
I don't know. There's a bit of a witch hunt when I got picked in this one. So we'll see. I'm 35. I like to think I've impacted the team when I've been on the field. It's been 4 years since I've been at this level. I've had a lot of injuries in those last 4 years, and I've loved being involved again though. It's been an amazing honour to have the opportunity again after sort of 3 or 4 years away and the injuries I've had, and to come back at 35 and be able to represent my country in an Ashes test. And despite the result, I'm really proud and grateful for the opportunity.
I was going to say, Alex, what do you think has got to change in Super League in the game to kind of match the NRL? You know, if you were running the NRL, what would you?
It's probably above my pay station that, but look, at the end of the day, you know, the sport, I want a polar part in terms of it's their national identity, it's their national sport. I think that's in the stat. There's 15 times more people playing rugby league in Australia than there is in England, and that's the harsh reality of it, you know. But by no means do we just need to keep on, make up the numbers. We're proud Northern sport. We're proud, Englishmen who represent our country, and from the AFL Super League and everyone involved, we always do our best. And I think there's one thing you can't question from our organisations is that we don't do our best, and we'll just keep chipping away. You know, at the end of the day, we've got to keep growing. The Super League have done a lot of good stuff these last 12-18 months, haven't they? Last 2 years. You can see, the repercussions of that coming through, and it might not be an immediate fix, but you've got to think sort of long term down the line. We've got to get more kids playing rugby league. That's going to be the secret. If we can get more kids playing our great game, we get a bigger playing pool, and then hopefully, once the game keeps growing, as it has been, we've got some fantastic sponsors, ABK, Betfred, they really put a lot behind the Super League and England. And we've got to keep going, and that's what we can do, and hopefully we will keep doing that, and eventually we'll catch them up.